Hi, I'm Lulu Wong. I am the creator and director of Expats. It is a six-part series about three American women in Hong Kong whose lives are changed when a tragedy occurs. Here at TIFF, I am screening the fifth episode of the six-episode limited series, and that episode is called Central. It is a feature-length episode, and it flips the perspective to tell the story from characters who were more in the background in the other episode, characters who are locals, characters who are workers. One of the things I love so much about Janice's novel is that it created this whole world of all of these characters and themes and relationships that were new but also really familiar. So a lot of these characters, like Essie and Puri, the what Hong Kongers call helpers, but are migrant domestic workers, they were included in the novel, but they didn't have a I guess, starring role. They were more supporting characters. And the great thing about television is that you have the ability to really expand. And Janice was so excited to do that. And together we picked out characters and we talked about how we would expand the stories around those characters. So, my background is that I was born in mainland China, and my family brought me to the States as a Chinese immigrant in 1989. So I'm not from Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is a very unique place with an incredible history and a lot of recent events that are incredibly sensitive. So I was asking myself the question of, am I the person to tell this story? I am, even though I am a Chinese immigrant in America, when I go back to Hong Kong, I'm actually an American expat. And that was the thing that drew me to the world of expats. Asking these questions about what is an expat versus an immigrant. And so my reservations were simply around, am I the person? What is my responsibility in telling the story? And what are my limitations? And ultimately, I channeled those questions into the work itself. Well, Janice is incredible because so often when we're making adaptations, I think the concern is that the original creator might be really precious with their original work, and Janice was the opposite of that. In fact, in when we were all working together in discussing what the adaptation would be, she said, please don't stick to the book. Like, let's change it. And I was the one who kept referring back to the book and saying, but I love this. Let's just put exactly this in. And so that's just what it was, a constant conversation. I'm, still astounded that she had as much faith in me as she did. And I'll always be grateful for that because she didn't have those reservations and said, you tell really human stories, and that's what I'm interested in. That regardless of the world, the backdrop, the setting, at the end of the day, these are stories about people, about women, and I want you to do this because I know you can bring out the humanity in all of these characters. I think there are always more stories to tell, and I think there are no limitations to imagination and creativity. But no, this was a limited series, so I don't think there will be a season two. I think Nicole, as an executive producer, is incredibly helpful because we had such a personal relationship that if she ever wanted to talk through anything, it was always a direct line of communication. And if there was ever things that she knew that I wanted, she would ask me, what is it that you want? How can I help support you? How can I, make sure these things happen? So I think just from a really practical perspective, I was able to achieve a lot of what I achieved with her support. I'm working on my garden right now. No, yes, I mean, I do. I have a couple films, and I'm excited to dive back into films. And I'm, also, I've been working on this for over 3 years, so I'm excited just to take a step back before I dive into the next one. The next projects that I'm working on, one of them is set in the US, and the other one is a sci fi, so hasn't been determined where we're going to set it, so that's what I'm focused on.